I welcome you all in this video lecture series of heat transfer. In previous lectures, we discussed about the generalized heat conduction equation. Then we considered an important case of one-dimensional steady heat conduction through a slab. Now, moving forward, we are dealing with case 2, the in one-dimensional heat conduction equation through a hollow cylinder. Now we are taking care of a hollow cylinder. One-dimensional heat conduction through a hollow cylinder. So let's observe. Let's draw a hollow cylindrical object. This is a hollow cylindrical object. Let's draw a hollow cylindrical object. Okay. First of all, let us draw a hollow cylindrical object. This is a hollow cylindrical object. Okay. Let's draw a hollow cylindrical object. This is a hollow cylindrical object of any material. Okay. Now this hollow cylindrical object is having radius r1 and r2. The hollow cylindrical object is having radius r1 and r2. It is having radius r1 and r2. Okay. The inner surface of the cylinder is maintained at temperature T1. The inner surface of the cylinder is maintained at temperature T1 and the outer surface of the cylinder is maintained at temperature T2. The outer surface is maintained at temperature T2. And let the temperature T1 is greater than T2. Let the temperature T1 is greater than T2. Therefore, the heat conduction would be there in a radial direction. Here I am considering the one-dimensional heat conduction, that is only in a radial direction. Heat conduction only in a radial direction, radial outward direction. Okay. From inner face to the outer face, there will be heat conduction because inner face is at temperature T1. The outer face is at temperature T2. Since T1 is greater than T2, therefore there will be heat conduction from inner face toward the outer face. Now what are the basic assumptions which we are going to make in this analysis? Assumptions are similar to the previous case, that is of slab. First is one-dimensional heat conduction. One-dimensional heat conduction. One-dimensional heat conduction. And in which direction? That is in radial direction. We are considering heat conduction only in radial direction. We neglect the heat conduction in z direction and also in phi direction. We will neglect the conduction in radial. We will neglect the heat conduction in z direction and the phi direction. We are concerned with the heat conduction only in the radial direction. Second assumption, steady conditions. Let steady state is there. The conditions are steady state. The third condition is that the thermal conductivity K is constant. Thermal conductivity K is constant. It is not the function of temperature or not the function of space. The K is constant. And the last and final assumption, that is there is no heat generation. There is no heat generation. There is no heat generation. Okay. There is no heat generation. We need to work out the basic equation of the heat conduction for this hollow cylinder under these four assumptions. Okay. So let's start with we are given with only R1 and R2 are the inner and outer radii, and the inner and outer face are maintained at temperature T1 and T2, where T1 is greater than T2. So the conduction will be in radial outward direction. The conduction would be in radial outward direction like this. Q cylinder. The conduction will be in radial outward direction. Okay. Now let's observe. First of all, let us consider the generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates. First of all, let us consider the generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates. We know that the generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates is given by 1 by r del by del r del t upon del r plus 1 upon r square del square t upon del phi square and so on. Now, we are making one assumption that there is no heat generation. Look at the assumption, no heat generation. No heat generation implies that Qz equals to 0. So if there is no heat generation, this Qz will become 0. This term will become 0. This term will become 0. Okay. And next, we are considering the one directional or one dimensional heat conduction, that is only in radial direction. Therefore, the terms of phi and z direction would become 0. The terms in z direction and phi direction would become 0. These two terms has also become 0. This is also 0. And since there is steady conditions, steady state implies that temperature with respect to time will not vary. This is the steady conditions. Therefore, what is left in this equation? This term is 0, this term is 0 because of one dimension. There is no heat generation and there is steady state. Therefore, we are only left with this term. Therefore, we are left only with this term. Therefore, we are left with only this term 1 by r del by del r del t upon del r equals to 0. So under these four assumptions, the generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates becomes this. We are left with only one of the term. This is the generalized heat conduction equation is reduced to only one term under all these assumptions. Okay. Now let's move forward. Thus, the equation can also be written as, for one dimensional, this total partial derivative can be reduced into the total derivative form del by del r, total form d upon dr r dt upon dr is equals to 0. Now moving forward, we need to integrate this equation. First of all, this r is sent to this side, so the equation becomes d upon dr r dt upon dr is equals to 0. Now let us integrate the equation. Integrating once, let us integrate this equation. If we integrate this equation once, we will have r dt upon dr is equals to c1, or dt upon dr will be equal to c1 by r. This is the equation of temperature gradient, equation number 1. Okay, now let's integrate this equation once again. Integrating again. If we integrate this equation again, integrating again, what we are left with now? If we integrate this equation again, we will have t as a function of r is equals to c1 upon 1 by r. c1 is constant, 1 by r will be log r and some constant of integration c2. Okay, this is equation number 2. Now this equation shows us a logarithmic distribution of temperature within the cylinder. This equation shows us a logarithmic distribution of temperature, within cylinder, temperature within cylinder, logarithmic distribution of temperature within cylinder. Now moving forward, now we need to use the boundary conditions to get the values of these constants c1 and c2. Now what boundary conditions we can use? What are the boundary conditions that we can use? First of all, let me write the equation again. Temperature as a function of r is c1 log r plus c2. Now we can use certain boundary conditions. What are the boundary conditions? The boundary conditions are first, at r is equals to r1, the temperature is given T1, first boundary condition, and at r equals to r2, when radius is outer radius, the outer face is maintained at temperature T2. At r equals to r1, T equals to T1, and at r equals to r2, T equals to T2. Now we will apply both the boundary conditions to solve for C1 and C2. First, use this boundary condition over here. What we have? Temperature is equals to T1, T is equals to T1, when radius r equals to r1. This is the first boundary condition, use of the first boundary condition, and then we will use second boundary condition over here in this equation only. Second boundary condition gives T equals to T2 when radius is R2. Okay, now we can subtract this from this. So what we will get? T1 minus T2 is equals to C1 log R1 upon R2 from here. R1 upon R2. From here, C1 log R1 minus C1 log R1. C1 is common. Log R1 minus log R2 will be log R1 upon R2. Or we can write C1 as T1 minus T2 upon log of R1 upon R2. This is the equation, or this is the constant of integration C1. Now we can calculate the value of constant of integration C2 as well. By putting this value over here, we can write an expression for C2 as T1 minus C1 log R1. So C2 would be T1 minus, put the value of C1, it is T1 minus T2 upon log R1 upon R2 multiply by log R1, natural log R1. This is the value of C2. This is the value of C2. Now put the value of C2 and C1 in the temperature distribution equation. In this temperature distribution equation, we will have temperature distribution as C1 log R plus C2. So it is T1 minus T2 upon log R1 upon R2 multiply by log R. This is the value of C1 plus C2. C2's value is T1 minus T2 upon log R1 upon R2 multiply by log R1. By this equation, C1 log R, it is C1 log R only. Please note over here it is C1 log R only. I put the value of C1, this is the value of C1, this is the value of C1, and this is log R plus T1 minus. From this equation, at any radius R, you can calculate the temperature. At any radius R, temperature T can be calculated. Now let's move forward to calculate the value of the rate of heat transfer through the cylinder. The rate of heat conduction through the cylinder is given by. The rate of heat conduction is given by. The rate of heat conduction through cylinder is given by. The rate of heat conduction through the cylinder, that is Q cylinder. So the Q cylinder can be written as minus Ka dt upon dr. A very simple expression, because radial direction, we are considering the heat transfer in radial direction, so it will be dt upon dr. So minus K, area of the cylinder, area of any general is 2 pi RL, where L is the length of the cylinder. So area would be 2 pi RL of any face, area of any face of the cylinder, okay. And dt upon dr, we will look that dt upon dr is C1 upon R. dt upon dr is C1 upon R. So let's write C1 upon R. Now put the value of C1 over here. It is 2 pi, R cancels out, L. Value of C1 is T1 minus T2 upon log of R1 upon R2. Now this minus can be removed from the equation by writing this as log R2 upon R1. So the equation would finally become 2 pi Lk, where L is the length of the cylinder, 2 pi Lk multiplied by T1 minus T2 divided by log of R2 upon R1. This is the expression for rate of heat transfer through cylinder, or Q cylinder is given by 2 pi Lk T1 minus T2 on log of R2 upon R1. Please note, this is 2 pi Lk. Minus was there and it was log R1 upon R2. So minus has been removed and this log R1 upon R2 has been written as log R2 upon R1. This is the expression for rate of heat conduction through the cylinder. Okay, thus we have completed two cases in one-dimensional heat conduction. One is plain slab, another one is hollow cylinder. Now we will derive in the next lecture an expression for the rate of heat conduction through a sphere under steady conditions and under one dimensions. Okay, thank you.